Our next guest, who was forced to close his restaurant. Joining me now to discuss more is the manager of MCSEAGUL'S in Booth Bay, Maine, Kevin Thomas. Thanks for being with us this morning, Kevin.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. Before we dive into this, I just want to know, what are you going to do in the meantime? Are you going to look for another job? Do you have another option?
Absolutely. It's kind of ironic, but because of the shortages is so widespread, most of our staff was able to get jobs almost right away after we unfortunately had to close our doors.
I know. I feel like everywhere you go, on every business, whether it be a restaurant or anything else, you see a help wanted sign. So I would assume that it wouldn't be too hard to find one for those who do want to work. But also, it says Maine has not eliminated that $300 weekly additional unemployment benefit. But they said, the Department of Labor said that those payments will end next month as scheduled. Could that mean that MCSEAGUL'S will open back up?
Unfortunately, just because of the short season that we do have, by the time you shut everything down, in order to fire up this engine again, it's just pretty much past its time to make any kind of money before the season ends. So, even with that ending, you're not really going to have enough time to get the staff in, get the kitchen going, the food, everything. So it wouldn't be worth it at that point.
Okay. And then you also said that the government assistance is actually what's creating a long-term problem, not a short-term problem. Go into this a little bit for us in detail.
Well, as you noticed, since the beginning of COVID last year, it's just constantly, handouts and this and that. You're creating just an overall kind of lack of wanting to work that extends over a long period of time. If you look at it, we were able to open fully the restaurant and lift the mask mandate in Maine on May 24th, but yet we still give the free money all the way to September. What kind of are you trying to send here? You're not trying to help people get back to work. You're trying to say, well, hey, we'll keep giving you something here and there just to keep you going and rely on us.
Right. And then the Labor Department reported that 3.9 million Americans quit their jobs in June, but yet the layoffs didn't change much. Do you know anyone personally that quit their job because maybe they were making more with the money coming in from the government?
I don't necessarily know anybody that's making more, but like I said before in a previous interview, if that wage gap between what you make sitting home and what you make going to work is too close together, what's $200 if I get to stay home or I have to go to work for a week, and that $200 means nothing to me. So it doesn't have to necessarily be more, but it just has to be, comparable.
Right. And then you also said that the labor shortage isn't just with the hospitality industry. And I can speak from a personal standpoint, it's also manufacturers. So this is really kind of a blanketed situation, not with just the hospitality industry.
Absolutely. My brother down in Florida is an engineer, and he's going out in the field and doing tests that he did when he was in college, and he's a professional engineer. Another friend of mine is a general contractor. He's doing manual labor. So these job shortages are across the board. We see it more so with the restaurant because everybody goes out to eat. It's something that's right there. You don't think about the guy that's packing the warehouse and packing the trucks to get you the food for the restaurant.
Right. Well, with 10.1 million job openings across the U.S., I would say that there are jobs open for anyone who does want to work. Kevin Thomas, thanks for being with us, and I'm glad you were able to find employment pretty quickly after this.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Of course.